Ben, after Perth, you were sort of mentioning about this team's ability to bounce back and sort of shelve bad performances and come back strong. How disappointed are you in what the team's produced this week in total?
Yeah, another disappointing week. But again, on the back of that, we're gonna have to speak about that and do that again for next week. But yeah, another disappointing week where sort of again we sort of were able to pull the game back, a little bit towards us and then let it go again, on a couple of occasions. And that was the same thing last week as well. So yeah, another disappointing week. But again, there were some moments in that game where we were looking like the team, with obviously the ability that we have in the dressing room of, if we can sustain that quality of cricket for longer periods of time, which we haven't been able to do in these first two games, then hopefully then the performances will start coming from that.
We know about the hopes you have for this series and the talent that you've got in the dressing room. Any concerns or worries that the occasion has spooked any of the guys or got too much, too big?
No, gosh, look, it's a huge series. It's been built up for a long, long time, and the worst thing to do now is to not have hopes and not realise that we've still got that opportunity to do what we came out here to do. We are 2-0 down. There is 3 games left. If we lose hope over the next couple of weeks, well, even from next week, then we might as well nobody turn up. I haven't lost hope. That dressing room hasn't lost hope, and yeah, I'll be doing everything as I can as a captain to make sure that everyone is as positive as they possibly can be, because any type of negativity or anything like that comes into the mind when it's our time to perform, it's no good.
Can I ask what we can or should read into the way you and Will played for 3 hours today? Was that in any way a response to the frantic cricket that you saw last night from the top order?
Look, we lost, pretty quick wickets in a cluster last night. Again, commending Australia in the way that they bowled. Our bowling unit, Australia's bowling unit, knew exactly how to bowl on that wicket with the assistance that it was offering. They were able to do it for a lot longer than us, and they challenged us a lot more than what we were able to challenge their batsmen. And this morning, I said last night, we are where we are. We talk about taking the scoreboard out of the situation, and I said, let's take it out, and all I want us to focus on is just fight. Just show some fight, and then we'll see where we are. Nothing's guaranteed in life or nothing's guaranteed in sport, but as long as you walk out there and you just think in your head, I'm going to fight all the way to the end here, that's all I want us to focus on. So, yeah, what you've seen from me and Will Jacks there was just on the back of me just saying that everyone who's got responsibility left in this game is just to show fight. And that sometimes doesn't show in the output of what you try and do. It's all in the mind.
Well, and Stephen.
Ben, a couple of years ago at Lords, when you went to kneel down, you said that the way that your team plays, you felt that put you in a good position. Does this feel different this time around?
I think, as I said, nothing's guaranteed. You've got a group of players that we've put together here. We know what the strength of those players are, and we obviously try and allow them to go out there and express themselves in the best way possible for them to be successful. And the thing with this team is I've never had any doubt about it's a skill thing. Sometimes when there is moments in a game where the heat is on, when the pressure is really, really cooking, that's where your character, comes out more. And it's one thing I keep saying to the lads is, you're playing international cricket, you're going to be exposed to these situations. And how you react to those in your mind is the most important thing. And being able to block out everything that's going on around you and just focus on the task that is in hand. And just making sure that your mind is completely clear on the task at hand and applying yourself in almost what is needed for the team. And yeah, with you know, we've all been guilty of it so far in this tour at moments where, you know, we maybe have let the pressure and the occasion and the circumstance get to us in our decision-making ability. But that's just where it's so important to, you know, have that real clear mindset about everything that you're going into.
Stefan?
Ben, you just talk about those pressure moments. Those moments always seem to bring the best out of you. Is that what you want to see more from your team?
I don't want to say it brings the best out of me, because it almost makes it sound like I only want to go out there and do what I want to do in those moments, but I just want it. Yeah, you know, I want to be the man who's going to bring the game back for his team, or my team at the moment. And I assess what I think needs to be done, calculate in my head what I feel like I need to do, identify the risk, where are my options, where can I score runs, and try and make everything back in my favour as I possibly can. And I have a complete understanding that there is someone else at the other end who's got an incredible amount of skill as well, the bowler. So I've got to understand that. But yeah, wanting to be in those moments is the start of dealing with pressure. And then making sure that your mind is completely clear on the task at hand is also the next thing that's very important. And it just makes those situations just feel a lot easier. Just being able to simplify the moment.
You've been around the block enough to know that, you know, going on holiday this week, you guys will be questioned about that. But it's something at the moment that you actually really think this team needs to get away for a little while, to get away from cricket.
Look, we've been here, I don't know, 4 weeks, and it's been pretty full on from on the field stuff, off the field stuff, and you know, as physical as this game is, it's a huge part of it is also the mental side of it. There is, you know, I know that, I've experienced that. I know what the game can do to you when things aren't quite feeling right or going well. So it is, trust me when I say it is so important that teams, when they do get an occasion or an opportunity to be able to go away as a team and almost put the pressures of this aside for a couple of days. That doesn't mean that everything just sort of disappears and we don't speak about what's going on, because those conversations are constantly happening. But yeah, it's a high pressure environment. We chose to do this, we're lucky enough to do this, so it comes with the job. But it's also very, very important that when you do get the opportunity that you are able to go away and refresh your mind, because you know, obviously in Melbourne we need to be not only physically good but mentally very good as well.
Chris, Dan, and then Simon.
Ben, it would be understandable if some negative thoughts did creep into the minds of some players between now and the next test. How do you ensure that not just you, but everybody in the camp's in the right frame of mind to take on Australia again and come out of it?
Yeah, again, that's one of the responsibility of, you know, myself and you know, Brendan to make sure that doesn't happen. And sometimes I feel like if you just presume that someone's okay, it's pretty dangerous, I guess, just to think that they are, because you know, you can be putting on a front to avoid those tough, difficult conversations. But you know, I'm not someone who's afraid to go and check on everyone if I feel like I need to, because as I said, I need everyone to be pretty switched on. And if there are any worries, if there are any doubts about what we've got to come up in the next 3 or 4 weeks, then yeah, I need to sort that out and help the guys get through that. So look, it'd be completely understandable if there were some guys who were feeling the pressure. Some people deal with it better than others. Some people think about things different than others. So that's up to me to, yeah, I guess, to know, help the lads through that.
Dan, here.
Ben, Brendan said on a TV interview a few months ago that he thinks, if anything, you are over-prepared for this match rather than under-prepared. Do you agree with that assessment, you as a team, that is?
There's a great saying that I know where there's, you know, you're going to train or you're going to train to dominate. You know, there's a lot of training that you see go on where you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. You're doing it to look right. You're doing it to be doing the right things, whereas actually you're not really achieving anything out of it. It might look good to the external world and the external people around you. Wasting energy, you know, putting your energy into the wrong reasons as to why you are training can be very, very detrimental. So, obviously on the back of the first Test match, when you do desperately want something like we do, maybe you can fall into that, just train to train. I've been guilty of that as well, where I've just overtrained myself and I've, not given myself the best chance in terms of physically to be able to go out there and do things for a long period of time. So, I understand that it might sound like, well, surely if you train more, you're going to be better. But yeah, there's that saying, train to train, or you're going to train to dominate. And I like to train to dominate, as does this team.
Simon, Will, and then Barrett.
You've spoken about rising to the fight and how that's inspired you, but maybe not every player's shown that this week. Is that something that you can change and instill in time for them to stand tall in these moments in the last few weeks?
No, I think everyone fights for the team. If we didn't feel like people were going out there and showing fight, then believe me, they wouldn't be here. It's, as I say, it's the mental side of this game is just tough. And being in the right frame of mind, whether it's you're on top, that's the easy part. It's when you're behind or where you are in the pressure moments, that's the hard parts of being able to deal with the mental side of what this great game brings to you. So, just making it very clear in everyone's mind that you are going to experience this. What are you going to do to make yourself feel comfortable in those moments? Because we've been the team who've done that to other oppositions before, where we have put them under serious amounts of pressure and they've not been able to stand up to what we've offered. And at the moment, we've not been able to stand up to what Australia have thrown at us. And that's as a collective group, not individuals. We are one team, but we are full of 11 players. So, just need to be better at those moments.
Will?
You've got quite a distinct style as a team, but over these two tests, have you had cause to doubt the method that you bring to playing the game? Do you think you need to tweak it toward always question about where you play today, playing the situation in the way that some of the other guys haven't done in the test match? Are you doubting the method at all in this toughest of all series?
No, definitely not doubting it, because it's not. Our method isn't just based on one thing. It's something you said from the get-go. I remember my first team chat with Baz. It was our blueprint is about applying pressure to the opposition, but also understanding that we do need to absorb that at moments. I will agree and say that we are a much better team at applying it than we are at absorbing it at the moment. You'll always see us chase the ball hard to the boundary, and you'll always see people leave everything out there on the field. Those are the four things that is the blueprint of this team. And out of the four, we can definitely look to improve on the moments where we need to absorb those, and just understanding the situation a lot better about what that looks like.
One each, Barrett, Vish, and then we'll finish with Dan. Go ahead, Barrett.
Ben, just with the pace attack, there's been a lot of talk of how you've been preparing this pace attack for Australia, and that first evening in Perth, bullying the early batters. And, can you put your finger on what's gone wrong, not gone wrong, what's happened since then, especially in those first 15, 20 overs, both there and over here?
Look, I think that first innings with the ball, this game in particular, it was actually, I think it was myself and Bryden who let all that pressure off. We weren't able to sustain what Jofra and Gus did with an opening partnership. Like, they've got Travis Head now at the top, who he plays how he plays. He's very, very difficult to bowl to. When he gets going, he is tough. Batsmen, can hit you off the area where you want to zone in on. But I think, me and Bryden know that we weren't able to back up Jofra and Gus's first spell. And we weren't able to deliver the consistency that Australia delivered this whole Test match. There was a lovely crack down, running down the wicket that, Scott Boland and Nessa, I thought, in particular, were incredible at hitting. When there's something like that on the wicket that can assist you, and you're not consistently be able to hammer away at that, that's what it was. We let the game get away from us very, very quickly. It was always going to be tough to to bring it back. And also I know we took 12 wickets this game, but you know, it felt like 17 because of the drop catches. You know, so in Test match at this level, you just can't do that. You know, look at Steve Smith catch today after me and Jaxie got 3.5 hours together, just completely changed where it was at. Alex Carey, unbelievable behind the stumps, a couple of catches, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, you can't drop catches at this level and not expect them to bite you in the arse.
Vish at the back, and then we'll finish with Dan.
Ben, you've been really good at insulating players over the last few years from pressures of Test cricket, but then I suppose leading into the series, you and McCullum spoke openly about basically how this would be and all the different ways they need to cope with it. Where do you go with that now? Because I feel like you need a bit of both, but also they need to realise, I suppose, the gravity of the situation they're in.
Yeah, and that's it's an important thing to do. I think I've, you know, done this for a while now, and I've obviously gone about it in a certain way that I believe in. But there's also, you know, the other side of it where, you know, there's the saying that teams who come to Australia can't be, you know, like, you know, soft or weak, whatever it may be, because that's how it is out here. It is a tough place to come, but you know, I see it as there's no room for that in a dressing room that I'm in charge of. So yeah, double-edged thing there. Can't come to Australia and be weak, but you also can't be in my dressing room if you are. And you know, there is none of that. We pick people on ability and skill, but we also pick people on character and mentality. So a few things that obviously need to be addressed when I think on that, but I know deep down that we've got characters who I know that can stand up to what we've got to do over the next 3 games.
The last one here, Dan.
Ben, I just wanted to ask you about Will Jacks, your partnership, the example that I guess he set as well today, and I guess what role you see him playing in the remainder of the series.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like I know he played incredibly well, you know, last night and later on today. We had a good partnership building there, and you know, we were just constantly thinking that we're just going to keep going and going and going. We're going to take this game to where we need to get it to give ourselves a chance. But even in the first innings, I thought he came out and looked proper as well. But yeah, look, he got given the opportunity to play this game this week, and yeah, we'll see where we go in terms of team selection and stuff come Melbourne.
Okay, thanks Ben.
Cheers guys, thank you.